What did your parents do that you'll never forgive? My sister is Lena, 2 years younger. In our house, she was the sun. I was the wall the light bounced off. We had a family bakery, flour in the air, alarms at 3. I learned to wake on the first buzz, tie an apron, roll dough. Lena slept. She was the artist. She needed rest for the light. Rules bent for her, snapped for me. She knocked a tray of croissants to the floor during a selfie. Mom called it a lesson. I chipped a mug during cleanup. Dad took it from my pay. Lena skipped first period to chase a sunrise. They wrote her notes. I was 10 minutes late after unloading flour. I lost my phone for a week. At 18, I got into an HVAC program. I needed $2,200 for tools in the first term. Dad looked at the ledger, said not now. Money was tight. Maybe next year. Work a bit. Save up. 1 week later, they bought Lena a full-frame camera, a lens you guard like a baby, a light kit. They rented a tiny loft so she could shoot. I watched them carry in fake plants in a white chair. Everyone smiled. Investment in her future. I nodded and took the night shift at the grocery. I moved out at 19. One room over a bar, a hot plate, rice in a pan. I studied by the hum of the beer cooler downstairs. I passed every test. Started fixing heat in winter, air in summer, ladders, roofs, burned hands. I stacked cash in an envelope and taped it under a drawer. Lena kept leveling up. New glass every season. Drone. Trip to Iceland. My parents split the cost. They paid her car insurance because art does not stop for paperwork. They paid her rent because the loft light was perfect and she needed to be close. I got texts like, proud of you, kiddo, and can you swing by to lift flour? I always swung by. She launched a studio, natural light, open brick, swing with flowers. They co-signed a loan, $40,000. We cleared the bakery back room so she had sets when the loft was booked. My dad built a wall there by hand. He never built me a shelf. Business limped. Brides ghosted. Babies cried through sessions. She said the market was weird. She posted reels. She bought presets. She posted more reels. Bills went late. Flour guy sighed. Yeast guy frowned. Roof dripped on the ovens after a storm. I came with a tarp and a bucket. Dad would not call a roofer. We could not afford it. The ladder was in Lena's car for a shoot in a field. She said light weights for no one. The health inspector dropped a yellow paper on the door. 2 weeks closed. We lost all the weekend orders. Mom cried over a sheet pan. Lena filmed a behind the scenes about resilience. She told people to support local art. I changed a compressor across town and handed an old couple a bill I hated to hand. Then the pivot. Weddings were dead. She was going to do brand work. Big contracts. She needed a van. White, clean sides. Rolling studio. They pulled a line of credit on the house. Drove the van home with a bow. She filmed the bow. 2 months later, the van was gone before breakfast. Dad stood in the driveway with his hands open like he lost a dog. The bank called in the line. The bakery coughs. The house coughs. Everything coughs. Mom called me at lunch. Voice small. I need you. We need 12,000 by Friday or we lose the shop. Please. Just this once. Your sister is close. She has a meeting. She's pitching. We just need to breathe. I had 18,400 saved. A small truck fund. A real bed fund. The first month and last month for a place that did not smell like beer and bleach. My hands shook on the phone. I drove over. The house felt smaller. Photos everywhere of Lena holding cameras. One of me at 8 with a hairnet in the bakery. Tucked behind the thermostat. Lena sat on the couch editing. Nails perfect. Coffee in a cup with her logo. She said, hey hero. Then she said, you are killing it. Family helps family. I asked how much in total they had given her. Mom said that is not fair. I asked again. Dad rubbed his forehead. Around 90. Maybe a bit more. It is not about numbers. It is about potential. I asked what they ever gave me. No one answered. They looked at me like I was the problem. Like I brought the weather in my pockets. Like I did not scrub pans at 4 in the morning while my friends slept. Mom grabbed my sleeve. Please, just this once. You are the only one who can. I took out my checkbook. My breath came short. I wrote a name, not theirs. On the memo line, I wrote the roofer's number and the flour guy's number. I slid it back. Call them. Sell the gear. Close the studio. Pay what you owe. Lena laughed. Cruel. She said art needs time. She said I do not get it. She said my work is easy. Thermostats and wires. Dad called me ungrateful. Said I would not have a work ethic without the bakery. Said I owe them everything. My phone buzzed. Service call. No air. Top floor. 2 seniors. Heat warning on the news. Mom cried harder. If we lose the shop, we have nowhere to go. I looked at her. I said you had somewhere. Then I picked up my tool bag and walked to the door.